What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Jardin, Perdido. Is this the end? Okie doke, guys. So I'm sure you all know right now it's December 28th. We just had an Arctic blast throughout the US. Houston got hit pretty good, 20 degrees sustained temperatures throughout, I'd say a 5-day period, but I'd say a 3-day period of hard freeze in which it didn't even let up in the afternoon, which I could deal with. As you can see around, everything's been hit pretty hard. Last minute I did dig up a lot of plants and I still have them inside. I haven't quite taken them out yet. They've suffered some shock, but not nearly as much damage as they were to be out here. The larger issue I wanted to address was that I had to get rid of all of my animals, my goats and chickens. Luckily, Sarah and her husband helped me out and picked up all of my goats, which was really awesome, gave them a good home. The chickens, she grabbed a couple of those too, and one of my local feed stores bought them off me too. So I was able to compensate a little bit and make sure they were taken care of. Why did this happen? I've mentioned in a few shorts here and there, but basically I've had a little something with my neighbors going on for about 4 months, but basically they'd been having ongoing fires, billowing smoke, affecting the health of both my children and I. Had my entire colony of bees go due to it shortly after. Amongst some other things, I was kind of weary about. One of my goats had passed too very recently, which in all fairness could have been from bloat as well. She was overweight. I had her on a restricted diet, pretty much just making sure she was alpha, and I was making sure she wasn't hogging it all so everyone else couldn't have any, and it was working fine. She was losing some weight. A few times I was late for work and didn't regulate her, and I think she went back to how she would usually gorge. May have had bloat. But yeah, I've had quite a few hardships in the past couple of weeks. My goat passing, the bees a few months ago. Basically, everything I'd been building is gone, at least temporarily. So is this the end? Not quite, if I can help it, but it is raising a lot of different questions for me. Is it the end for here? Is it time to move on? I'm not sure. For right now, I'm going to adapt with what I have. I'm going to be cleaning everything up here, bringing the plants back out, and making do with what I have. This isn't my first incident with neighbors. You know, I've tried to model what not the everyday person can do, but a typical urban environment. I know this is not HOA, which is part of the reason why I'm having issues. So that's been a factor in what I've been able to get away with. Unfortunately, Bark, the agency in Houston that picked up my animals, they did say that they only come when people complain. This was, you know I'm not in the right. Technically, as the law goes, you need to have animals 100 feet away from any building or structure. They were barely 50 feet, so. But I do believe in real food. I do believe in putting food back into our hands, which is why I tried to make this model. So where I go from here, I'm not really sure as far as how things are now with these neighbors here and now. I'm gonna give animals a little break for a little bit, maybe integrate quail again, or perhaps rabbits down the road. I am curious about hunting now. I've done little small game things before, but I was thinking about picking up archery and hunting some larger game like deer and buck. But as of now, it's got my mind churning in a lot of different directions, whether I should move, where I should move. I do want to be close to my parents who are in Humble. They're getting up there. They're not in the best health. They see their grandchildren quite a bit. So I do have family ties, so I don't want to go crazy. Part of me has always wanted to go to Costa Rica, but I won't do that to my children until they're old enough to make their own decisions. They're 10 and 11 now. I would wait until they're 18 to make such a jump. I wouldn't drag them into my lifestyle unless they were 100% okay with that. But I am exploring options in Texas in general, in close proximity, namely Alvin, possibly Huntsville. But as of now, I'm kind of holding tight and just kind of trying to salvage what I have right here and now. So if you guys have any suggestions, I know I've had some awesome followers offer me, I've put some things on Instagram stories and Facebook here and there, and people have gotten a glimpse of what's going on here, some of the problems I'm having, and they've offered me plots to stay on and stuff, which is really awesome. So if you guys have any creative suggestions as to how I should move forward right now, I'm actually still digesting the fact that almost everything's gone. And I've had a few videos about minor hardships in the past, but this is like, a lot at the same time to take in. And not only was this a freeze event, it was the holidays. Luckily I had off, but then to have animal control called on me during the holidays, during a severe freeze, in which in Houston you need to brace down and make sure your ducks in a row because pipes can burst and all this stuff. Houses aren't made for this. So I was less worried about the plants. I did have kind of a last minute jolt and dug up a lot of my more cold sensitive plants, and they're safe, so that's cool. But yeah, this was big, and I do want to make this video, and maybe I'll look back on this and it's not like I'm completely wallowing in what's happened. I'm just venting a little bit. Like I said, I'm still digesting. All of a sudden it's completely quiet. I don't have any chores, which is cool. I'll save some money. To be honest, the goat operation was getting a little taxing in some ways as far as my coming and going and trying to breed them in a way that I could yield a lot of milk and make it worth my while. Like, I was technically in the hole as far as, financially feeding them versus return and milk and this and that, but they were pretty much, to my knowledge, all due to kid in spring, which would have compensated for the money I spent this year. But live and learn. What I want to convey to you guys is these things happen. This is a lot at one time, but hopefully we can all look back on this video and, it'll be a memory. I'll be like, hey, remember that time it all fell up. And I do plan on rebuilding. I'm just not sure how, where, or what yet. I will say behind me, this is approximately 1,000 square feet. My daughter suggested making a really nice greenhouse back there. I could do a lot of things. I could plant more annuals. I can give that, ideally, I would like more land when I have things like goats and chickens to give land a rest and be able to rotate, things of that nature. This hasn't been rotated in the least. This needs some rest if I do plan on planting anything there, unless I go raised bed or something. But yeah, really this was just an update video. A lot's happened. I've made a few videos here and there. I had some little spurts, but I haven't been all that consistent because we've been going through some stuff, and mainly it's been the health thing. I'm kind of a mess right now making this video, but to be smoked out of your own house every day and legally, because there's no HOA here, it's within city limits of Houston. It's kind of the wild, wild west as far as that goes, and no one's been able to directly do much about it. I have been in contact with the health department and stuff, and they've been sympathetic and helpful as far as information, but not a lot's been done yet. So we'll see where this all goes. Spiritually, whether you believe in God, Muhammad, whatever. I know for me, usually when things hit the fan, when you take the time, you digest it, you try to listen to what's, the universe is telling you, and you just kind of slow down and pace yourself, you usually come out better on the other side. So right now, like I said, it may be that I'm still in shock. It may be that I kind of saw a prelude to this. I put my goats on Craigslist at a very fair price, just out of curiosity to prepare for this, and kind of tell myself, hey, maybe you can use a little break, recoup. Like I said, it's the holiday season. I was spending a lot on feed and stuff, so it's not all that bad, unless that's just shock, which I honestly think I was prepared for something like this. But it does make me think, have I outgrown this operation? I mean, I think the model that I've tried to convey to you guys has been awesome. I think that I pulled off a lot for 1/10 of an acre. And yeah, it's time to start churning wheels and thinking about moving forward. But all right, guys, that will do it for today's video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.